Hey guys, this is Gene Jensen, and today we're going to talk about what lures go with a heavy powered rod. Alright, so a heavy powered rod, it pretty much means what it says. You're going to fish heavy cover, you're going to fish with heavy wired hooks, you're going to fish heavy baits and heavy techniques. You know, it's used to get fish out of places you couldn't get them out of with any other rod. So let's go through real quick the way you would set one up and then the baits that you go with. The reel I'm going to fish on a heavy action rod is going to always be the highest speed reel I can get. This is an 8-1-to-1 Concept A. I'm going to throw either 25-pound test fluorocarbon on it or 65-pound test braid, just because the things I'm throwing it into, I've got to be able to get a fish out of and without breaking it off. Another thing with long rods is the longer the rod, the longer your cast can be. So if you're fishing swim baits and Alabama rigs and things and jigs that you're going to make long casts, you want to fish a longer rod. The long handle gives you the leverage you need to be able to double hand cast it and really get it out there a long ways. And it also picks up line a lot easier on a long cast. So you make a long cast, you've got to get a lot of line in because maybe that fish grabbed it and came at you. It really allows you to be able to bring that line up and set the hook without having to try to catch up with the fish so much. You'll see 8-foot rods doing this. Now the rules with BASS is you can fish something over 8 feet long. So I won't be surprised if soon you'll start seeing 9-foot and 9.5-foot flipping and pitching rods, big old heavy broomsticks. Alright, so for a bonus rod, you have your extra heavy rods. This is an 8-foot extra heavy fast action Defy Black from 1-3. It is rated for 8 to 14 ounces of lure. So it's for those really monster swim baits. I still can't believe they can make a swim bait rod like this for 80 bucks, and I'm trying my hardest to break it to prove them wrong. So far so good, but it's you're going to fish heavy stuff on it. You look at the writing that's on the blank, and it tells you it's rated for 20 to 40 pound line, 8 to 14 ounce lures, and that's kind of where you want to stay because this thing does not bend. I bet I could tow my truck with it. So pretty cool little thing. Just know that nowadays you can find great quality rods for specific techniques for not so much money. More and more companies are starting to figure out how to design those rods for less than your normal price point of $200, $300, $400, and $500. So just get out there and look for them. If you're looking for a specific heavy action rod, they're out there at the price point that you want. Just keep looking for them and you'll find them. Alright, so the lures and the techniques that you're going to use a heavy action rod with are kind of narrow. Just think about it. You're fishing heavy things. You're trying to get fish out of heavy cover. So the kind of things that first come to mind are like a punching rig. This is a 2-ounce weight that you put on a punch rig. Big heavy flipping hooks that you put on a punch rig. So you're fishing heavy stuff. You're going to have to get a hook set in the fish, turn the fish out of the grass or out of the heavy mats and get them out of there before they wrap you up or break you off. And yes, they can break 25-pound test fluorocarbon and they can break 65-pound braid and they can wrap you up around trees and logs. And you've got to have the heavy equipment to be able to get them out of there. Other things are flipping jigs up underneath docks. If I'm going to skip a jig, matter of fact, the rod, this is actually a rod that I designed for 13. It's a 5-foot or 6'5" heavy action rod, perfect for skipping docks with jigs. It's also my frog rod. I'll explain that in a minute. The swim baits, big, heavy, soft-bodied swim baits, even the hard-body swim baits, big rats. There's a ton of stuff out there now that people are fishing that they didn't fish 5-10 years ago, and you see the rods getting bigger and heavier and everything else. Alabama rigs, remember when that one popped out? You know, it has become super popular. This one's totally stripped. I've got it on I got hooks and stuff on a bunch of other things, but you know, it's just, think about what you're fishing. Another one is topwater frogs. I like a short, heavy action rod for topwater frogs. Like I said, a 6'5" heavy. And the reason is I like to walk a frog, and it's easier to walk a frog with a short rod than it is with a long rod. But you still have to have the power to be able to get the fish out. And on accident, we designed a really good tip on this one to make it easy, like I said, to skip jigs up underneath docks. Skip frogs, cast lightweight frogs, things like that. But You know, for a heavy action rod, you just got to think about what you're fishing, the kind of cover you're fishing in, and just make sure that your equipment, line, reel, rod all matches up to be able to get a big fish out of there. Well, like I always say, be sure to introduce somebody to fishing. Introduce them to my channel. Let me help you teach them how to fish. More importantly, get out in the water, go out and catch some fish. Have a great day.